Picture a superstore, a $16 million superstore. In fact, let's make it an $18 million superstore. Actually, it's a $21 million superstore. Only this superstore has an AS400 variance of $20,000. Cycle counts aren't being completed in this superstore, not even in the high shrink classes. And barcoding has not yet been embraced as cycle count methodology. The returns room in this superstore is a disaster, and the returns are not being bumped throughout the day. The schedule system isn't in place, and so the two-man pick system is not being adhered to, and sales counselors are not available to participate in the cycle count process. The sales floor is not secured. Laptops are not locked down, and there are numerous violations elsewhere throughout the store. The security tapes in the manager's office are not being changed out each day, and this store has over $90,000 in open box inventory, and it's everywhere. There are also shipping discrepancies that are not being accounted for per procedure. Well, this store takes its physical inventory, and as you might guess, the store has a $62,000 inventory shrink. Now picture this same store 6 months later. It's taken another physical inventory, only this time its shrinkage is only $2,400. Sound impossible? It's not. This video is all about 11 stores and 11 store management teams and what they did to turn it around.
When you have NIS issues, that's where the breakdown really would begin.
20 to 30% of our day was spent dealing with customers.
You're at the front counter, customer shows up, you look at the receipt, you look at the rollers, it's not there.
I can't find this piece, it's NIS. This is the third time I've looked for it, blah, blah, blah. That's very frustrating for the warehouse staff too, as well as for the sales counselors.
The other thing that frustrates them is we give them an AV plan and we give them a direction, and then they follow that direction only to find out that they're ready to not in stock.
There was a little thing on the floor. You have one in stock, don't even present it to a customer because it's probably not going to be there.
That's the real sad part of this. Who knows how much business we may have walked because we were afraid and because we had such poor inventory.
My worst NIS experience.
It was a set of Infinity 3008s, and it's a high-end pair of speakers.
And I can remember calling the customer and saying, your speakers are here, we've got them for you, and they said, oh, great, I'll be in tomorrow. And they came in the next day and they weren't there.
I was trying to explain to him that we didn't have it, but we were going to take care of him, and trying to bring him over to the end of the counter so we could have a quiet conversation so I could get him satisfied. Yet his intention at that point was to let everybody at the front counter know that he had purchased a system and we didn't have it. The end result was we did get the customer taken care of, but I can still remember the way I felt standing at that front counter, being the manager of the store, being the one responsible for the inventory, and all the customers looking at me like, you know, you should have made sure something like this didn't happen.
NIS affects not only the warehouse, it affects the management, it affects the sales counselors, and ultimately affects the customer.